All right, aloha friends. Brian Goss with GM Sports Media. It's game time with the Goss, powered by Grey Wolf Promotions and K9 Kind Resort. My guest today, McKinney Christian boys basketball coach Fonzo Martinez. He's got his team 35 and 1. Getting set to play, get set to start the playoffs. They'll host Fort Worth Lake Country Tuesday night, February 17th, and they're the number one ranked team in TAPS 4A. Fonzo, welcome to the show.
Hey Brian, great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys have had an incredible season, just one loss on the year. Looking at your schedule, you play some really competitive teams, especially in the UIL. I think your only loss coming to a UIL school in Crum. Just what's this season been like so far, having been 35 and 1 right now?
Honestly, it's been a little unexpected, but we are extremely proud of our guys. It's been a little bit of a dream for all of us because last year obviously we had a really good year. Went 38 and 2, made the deep run, but we did graduate every single senior. So this year we were kind of coming in with a little bit of the expectation that this was going to kind of be a rebuilding year, and we felt like we'd still be really competitive. But we had some guys that were going to be stepping up into bigger roles, and anytime that happens, it just takes some time. But hats off to our guys; they've played extremely well this year. They've brought into everything that we've asked them to do, and we've been blessed to have a good amount of success.
For those guys that were on the team last year that are back, and for you and your staff, like you said, 38 and 2, but unfortunately the season came to an end just short against Lubbock
Yeah,
Christian. Sometimes a lot of teams will kind of look at that final loss and use it as motivation. They'll circle the calendar
yeah.
again. Just what was the mindset? Did you, after that game in the off season, did you guys all just say, hey, that's a bad taste in our mouth. We want to get back there and finish the job?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think it was even harder because that game that we lost in the state tournament was so close. We had the ball down one, less than 15 seconds, try to put it in our two best players' hands and give them some space and, an offensive advantage. And sometimes the shot just doesn't fall. We talked to our guys a lot about that winning and losing, the margin is really, really small. So as soon as that happened, our guys this year just really said, "Hey, coach, we want to work as hard as possible." And they've been in the gym. I mean, it started all the way back to the spring. We've been in spring leagues, summer leagues, TABC showcases, team camps. So these guys, before the season even started, I think had played close to 100 ball games already together.
Is there anything else that you haven't mentioned yet that has led to this success this season? What are some other things?
Absolutely. I mean, we brought in two transfers that have been amazing for our program. Technically three. We have a freshman. He doesn't play heavy minutes yet, but he's got a ton of potential. He's a 6'7" forward named Raiden Hendricks. And then we have two starters. We have Leonardo Jimenez and we have Diego Landon. Both of them are actually international players from Mexico. Diego's like a 6'6" wing for us that can score at all three levels. Leo is a elite defender, can really, really shoot the ball for us. But I think the bigger thing is we brought in two guys that just fit our culture really well. They mesh well with the other guys. They're great teammates. So it was like they've almost been here for a while. So those two guys have been a huge reason also for our success.
Now, even though you graduated a ton of kids from last year's group, what is the makeup of this group? Is it still again senior heavy? Is it kind of balanced out?
It's balanced out. So we got three seniors. They do all start. Manny Weaver, Jaden Bickner. They're both kind of like our point guards. We almost play two guys at the point. And then Daniel Seeley, who started for us his freshman year, but in his high school career, he's just had a lot of injuries. He's technically had six knee surgeries, so he's been through a lot. But now he's finally healthy and he plays a huge role for us. So it's a lot more balanced this year for sure.
I'd like to give a shout out to one of our partners, K9 Kind Resort, the new doggy daycare in Justin, Texas. You won't find anything like it out there. Canine Kind Resort, they offer boarding, daycare, and grooming services for man's best friend. In honor of number 9, Ashley Fouts, Elizabeth and Bill Fouts and their staff will make sure your doggy is taken care of with playtime, treats, and more. So when you go on your next vacation, please consider Canine Kind Resorts. You can call them at 940-946-4444 or visit their website at caninekindresort.com. Talking with McKinney Christian basketball coach Fonzo Martinez. Uh, I'm trying to look back now. Have you guys been ranked number one the entire season in TAPS 4A?
Unfortunately, we have. We got the preseason number one ranking. I thought after we graduated everybody, maybe we could be like 8 through 10 and sneak in there and surprise people, but no, no,
I
no
mean,
surprising
how do you
anybody.
see that? I know media sees it more and kids probably see it, but as a coach, what does it mean to you? Are you just, hey, we want that number one ranking at the end of the year?
I think now, yes. I think now it's shifted. I personally as a coach get a little nervous because I'm like, man, is that a lot of pressure on our guys?
Yeah,
Um, but as the season started, I realized so much that our guys, we have a very humble group that works really, really hard. So that number one ranking just maybe motivated them even more. Like they were like, we have to prove we are that team. And they come in daily with kind of that mindset where they're confident, but it's not in a way where they take anybody or any opponent for granted. And I think that's probably also been a big thing this year is we've had some games where maybe in the past we would win that game by like 8 to 12 points. And this team just plays so together and plays so hard that those 8 to 12 point wins have now been like 25 to 35 point wins,
yeah.
because they lock in every single time.
You mentioned having played so many games in the off season for this group before the season even started, but uh, I don't know, going into the season, what were you thinking? Was there a moment, a game, a message, a meeting that you thought you'd be here, 35 and 1?
It's kind of funny is so every year we do an annual whiteout game. It's like our first home game of the year. And it's really awesome because the whole student body gets to get out of school early that day. So the gym is packed with like over 700 people in our
Wow.
gym, and it's not that massive. And it is standing room only. So it's really great. So obviously you want to win that game. And we play that game this year. We play a good HSAA team and we find ourselves, I think, down 18 or 20 points in the third quarter. And at that time, when that happened, I was thinking, man, it's going to be a year of us really learning and growing and taking a while. And I remember calling a full timeout and looking at our guys in the eye, and every single one of them were like ready, and they were all had this mindset. We preach attitude a lot,
Mhm.
and attitude, especially in the sight of adversity. And these guys could not have been more locked in and had more belief that we were going to win the game. And we end up coming back and winning. And I told our coaches, I said, man, we might have a special group here. Like it's going to take a little bit of time for us to figure out offensively and defensively some of the system, but I mean, these guys got no quit in them. So I think that first game was a really big moment for us.
This is the first game of the season.
It was the first game of the season at home. We're down 20, second half.
Talk about just scheduling, tough opponents, especially playing some of the top UIL teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, for us, we try to do a really good job of putting our guys in positions where they're going to be battle tested. So, it's a little tough, honestly, because there are a lot of schools and tournaments that we try to get in and opponents that we reach out to. And right now, there's a lot of UIL districts that don't play private schools, and some people don't realize it. It's like, man, you'd love to actually play the public school down the street, but you can't always do that. So for us, we try to find the 4As and the 5A UILs that don't have some of those restrictions
All right.
and are really competitive and willing to play us. So like the Decatur tournament's been really good for us because we've played against a really good Denison team last year. Crum, I think, is top 10 in the state. Last year Decatur was really, really good, and we'll see some teams in there that really push and challenge us. And then from the private school, ranks like we played Prestonwood early on. So we try to play some opponents that are bigger and a little bit better than us. Usually we're in the Grapevine Faith tournament, which usually has a few good teams as well.
So you guys you're 17-0, and then you suffer your first loss to Crum. Now 18 straight wins. I guess some teams, that loss, it might you know snowball effect and spiral downhill. But you guys were able to rebound, bounce back. Just what did you learn from that loss?
And that loss taught us so much about ourselves. So ironically, that loss against Crum, we were up, I think, 20 or 22 points in that game. So we were playing amazing, and the game was very much in hand. And then it was like one thing after another. We got called for a quick, I think, 5 or 6 streak of fouls. Guys started getting frustrated, started letting stuff that is out of their control make us play a little bit differently, and do some things that are out of character. Hats off to Crum. They're a really good team, and one of their kids got super hot, started making some really tough shots, some deep threes. And I think when it got to within 10, it was like we were still so frustrated by stuff. And it just kept being like a snowball effect. So you never want to lose, but at the same time, I'm like, a loss was not a bad thing for us there. Our guys got to get so much better from that.
And in this 18 games since, those games where you're up 10, 20, have you seen that difference where, you keep that big lead and your guys are still, they don't get frustrated now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bishop Gorman is a really good ball club in our district. The first time we played them, they were number 3 in the state, and we played them really well. And we were fortunate enough to beat them by a pretty significant amount, over 40 here at home. And we played really good at home. But the next time we played them for the district championship at their place. And every year, that's just, I mean, it's a dogfight, it's a battle. And so we got up, and I think they cut it to within 12 in the third quarter. And our guys were like, we've been here before. They went on a 10-0 run. They're like, we know exactly what to do, how to play. We got to stay composed. And we took it from 12 to 25 pretty quick. So I definitely think now it's like we've gotten better at essentially when a team kind of punches us in the mouth, how do we respond?
Awesome. And I'll get you out on this. Again, playoffs starting up Tuesday night. You guys are hosting Fort Worth Lake Country. One, what's it going to take to get on this playoff run and bring home a state championship and, kind of jumping ahead, I guess. I mean, can we see a rematch with Lubbock Christian?
I mean, it's possible, but I'll be honest. We try really, really hard not to look ahead. And I know that's tough. Everybody, it's been a lot of excitement and talk about, hey, let's get back to Waco. Let's do that. But our message this entire year has been one goal, and that is the next game that's ahead of us. And I think that really has set a great tone for us. So as much as, we probably will play a really good, if we were to win, Tuesday, we'd probably play a really good opponent in that regional round. It's either All Saints, who's in our district, or Colleyville Covenant. And then after that, maybe Lubbock Christian. Our guys are so locked in on Lake Country right now, which is really good for me. And so just trying to take it one step at a time.
Not good for Lake Country, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then one more real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, what would it mean to bring home a state championship, especially with a group like this?
Oh, man, it would be amazing. I mean, this group of guys, they're special. They could not be a better group on and off the court. They love each other, celebrate each other's success. I think they're all just really good in the classroom, just a group that you like love to coach. So the fact that we're also here and having some success is really enjoyable. So I would love nothing more for this group, but I tell them every day that we try not to be result driven. We try to be process driven. So, hey guys, if we just come to work every single day, get a little bit better, we're going to give ourselves a chance, So,
Well, awesome. Well, great season so far. It's far from done, Fonzo, and we wish you the best of luck in the playoffs. And thanks for joining us.
hey, Brian, thanks for having me on, man. We appreciate you.
All right, that's McKinney Christian basketball coach Fonzo Martinez. Again, his team 35-1. They'll start the playoffs at home Tuesday night against Lake Country. Uh, for another episode of Game Time with the Goss. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian Gossett, GM Sports Media, and we'll see you next time. I'd like to thank our proud sponsor, Grave of Promotions. Looking to amp your fan gear fundraising? Contact Grave of Promotions. My man Bill Webb out in Hearst does it right. You need t-shirts for your next high school season, swag for your playoff run, hats, bags, and more. Check out Grave of Promotions today. Give them a call at 817-868-9653. Check out their website, graveofpromotions.com, or email sales@graveofpromotions.com.